my biggest goal for wanting to do this is so that while I'm using that faster rotation, I can manipulate my vector to be evasive while I'm rotating and getting back on target.
For sure, for sure.
Don't get me wrong, that if you're actually using FAOff in combat, it's roughly about 20 times harder than a non-combat environment.
Really? I feel like combat FAOff was very easy.
The problem with FAOff in combat is it's hard to perceive your actual vector.
Yeah,
So I've
definitely.
actually found myself thinking that I've been going forwards, but in reality I've actually left my reverse thrusters on, and I just them was alright. So and by that time you realise you're way out of range of any engagement.
Yeah. I think the trickiest thing that I found when I was learning combat in Flight Assist Off is because you can become very focused on following a target. So say for example I was fighting against Tom. My goal, and his much faster Viper, my goal is to track him, to keep my nose pointing towards him so I can use my weapons on him, and to try and keep myself in a position that is less optimal for him to fire at me. But what I'm not thinking about when I'm doing just that is what my actual overall speed is relative to the instance. So it's very easy, if you're not paying attention to what you're doing, to end up at a complete speed stall where you're going at top speed in a direction, you've got limited rotational speed left because of that, or you've come to a complete stop and you're not flying evasively anymore. So you have to develop into that an awareness of, at the same time as being aware of what your opponent is doing, you also need to have a situational awareness of how you're moving in the overall instance. And then as you get more complicated, you can, especially if you're playing against a human player, for example, you can start using the location of the star to make it harder for them to aim at you, because it blurs out or makes it harder to see your reticule for aiming at, and things like that as well. So these are sort of the stages of layering on different complexity to combat in Flight Assist Off, where it's one thing to be able to track a target, but then it's another thing to be able to track your own movement within the instance at the same time as tracking a target.